Welcome to another episode of Botany Danny. I'm a plant hobbyist from Australia who loves experimenting with plants, growing things in my garden, and just sharing my love for nature. In this video, we are going to be turning this cool $5 chest that I found at my local store, and we're going to turn it into a plant paradise where it's going to open up and you're going to be able to see some cool, beautiful, overflowing succulents that come right out of it. I guess the inspiration for this really came from playing over 100 hours of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and just wanting to recreate that cool experience of opening a chest, seeing some cool treasure inside, except instead of gold coins, it's going to be plants. For this little project today, I don't want to spend very much money. In fact, I'm going to just go around my home and find the plants I'm going to use in this treasure chest. So I'm basically looking for plants that are easily propagated, things that are going to survive in a much hardier environment, and I'm going to see how it all comes together. Look at this cool chest. It definitely has a Legend of Zelda vibe to it. It's kind of made out of wood. But the whole idea of this is basically I should be able to leave it open. It's going to air dry, and whenever I have to water the plants, I'm just going to use a light spray bottle because I know it's made out of timber, and that timber is probably going to absorb some of the moisture. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a layer of pebbles inside just to give it kind of like a little well. So if there is water that drains down through the soil, it's not going to sit in the soil. It's going to come down to this bottom layer. Just keep it nice and thin. Top it up with some potting mix. I don't want to use too much because, as I said, it's going to be a relatively thin build. So I'm going to just get rid of that big chunk right there. So just need some good potting mix just for these plants to grow. Okay, and the roots will hopefully eventually over time reach deep down into the well of the chest. I've even got a few little stones just to add to the scaping. They can't be too big because the actual treasure chest itself is actually quite small. That's a size comparison right there. Now to go on a side quest and search for plants. First one I'm getting is one of these spiderettes from my beautiful master spider plant. I'm gonna try and pick one of the smallest ones just because of the size of my container. Oh, cool. This one's splitting off. Beautiful. And what you want to try and do is get these roots to come with it because that's going to help it grow. Layer down here with my collection. I'm also really a big fan of this trailing ficus because one of the things I want to do is to create this kind of waterfall plant effect. Now when you're propagating ficus, you're kind of looking for these little nodules. You can even see here there's like a little small aerial root coming out. Add that to the mix. Oh, I'm also loving these baby tears, and this baby tear plant is actually sourcing its water from this tray, which I built in an earlier video, so definitely check it out. But now it's kind of creeping all along the top of the box, and it's kind of what I want my chest to do. So I'm going to take a little bit of this, except I'm going to take it from my fish pond. There's heaps of it growing here. And just pull off a little bit of this. So what you want to do is when you pull this baby tear off, you want to make sure you get at least a couple of aerial roots so that it can definitely propagate. Hopefully that's going to be enough. Now, one of my other videos, I made a pot pond, and this plant grows really well, and it's eventually going to grow so well it's going to trail out over the edge. So I'm going to grab a bit of this and put it in my chest as well. Luckily, I have a whole cascading amount of it growing here on the edge of my pond. So I'm just going to grab a bit. Oh, I also love these little ground covers. This one's actually grown really well in this spot. It started off because a piece of it dislodged from that part of the pond somehow got lodged here, and it started sprouting, and now it's really grown and solidified itself. All right, I think that should be enough for our collection and what we want to do. Now, it doesn't look like much right now, but once it's had time to settle in and grow, it's actually going to look really cool. I'm going to put this here. Oh, it's looking actually not bad. So I just do a little tiny spray of water over it. The beautiful thing about this chest is if I wanted to, I could close the chest just to keep the moisture in. Kind of reminds me of that D&D creature, those fake chests. Just getting a little bit more soil, especially near the back, because I kind of want a little bit of depth. But if there's not enough soil, these plants might not take. Plant right at the back, just to give it a little bit of contrast. Now once these plants have a couple of weeks to settle in, a bit of daily watering and spraying, it's probably going to get to a point where it's going to look pretty lush. So I'll keep you guys updated about how this goes. Just going to leave it here in this spot for now. So it is about 8 months since I last filmed that Zelda chest video. So I'm now going to give you an update as to what it currently looks like. And I'm so excited to show you because the results are so good. Here is the Zelda inspired chest. Look how it's like flourishing. Like seriously, it looks so darn good. It's like growing so well. The roots have just really just like established. I don't think I can close the chest anymore, but holy dang, this is so good. Like these spider plants have just literally thrived. And I guess the secret for this was just keeping it in kind of like a really shady spot so that there was like lots of filtered light. But wow. Yeah, so pretty cool. You have it, my Tears of the Kingdom Legend of Zelda inspired plant themed treasure chest. Now, this has been just a cool idea that I kind of conjured up in my head after playing hours of Zelda, but also browsing different stores and seeing what cool ideas I can kind of test and experiment with. Now, if you really enjoyed the content that you've seen in this video, please consider checking out some of the other videos on my channel. I truly appreciate it. Please consider liking this video and subscribing for more nature. This is Danny signing out. Hope to see you in the future again soon. Goodbye.